All right, let me see. Trying to figure out what I clicked on. Oh, I have to share the screen. By the way, there was an announcement that I posted today. Hopefully everybody saw it. Oh, actually, I was in this class. Hopefully I posted at the right thing here. Do not update your Adobe CC 2015 upgrade. The reason is the upgrade actually takes you out of your, the update takes you out of your licensed version, and it'll put you into the trial version. So we don't want that. So we're trying to sort it out, figure out what's going on. So tonight we're going to work on reviewing the assessment. You carry around blind spots that might make you emphasize the wrong things in your portfolio or pursue work in an area that isn't your best. What do you think about that, Lisa? We carry around blind spots that might make you emphasize the wrong things in your portfolio or pursue work in an area that isn't your best. Okay, so so how do we deal with blind spots, and what's the best way? Well, obviously doing a self-assessment is a good thing to do, but getting feedback and trusting that feedback. Self-assessments are scientific, not subjective. What this means is when you do a self-assessment, is this meaning that what the metrics and what's being measured is provable, or does it mean that we kind of have an opinion? It's basically our opinion of reality. So our self-assessment scientific, meaning everything can be proven to be true or false using the scientific method, or are they subjective, meaning they're basically people's opinions? That's what subjective means. Scientific is defined as based on or characterized by the methods and principles of science. And subjective means based on or influenced by personal feelings, tastes, or opinions. Let's look at question 3. In general, solid experience is more valuable than training and can balance some gaps in formal education. So the point being made there is, can you learn anything on your job that you wouldn't learn in your schoolwork? Solid experience, meaning work experience or job experience, is more valuable than training and can balance some gaps in formal education. Now, the formal education is really what we're going through right now, taking classes. And training, again, you're just sitting, receiving instruction, whereas solid experience, the requirement there is that you are doing work and solving problems. Let's move on to the next one here. Besides strengths and weaknesses, goals, values, and personality, the self-assessment must also include a list of work experience that you have had. So does a self-assessment require that you have a list of work experience? Self-assessment, figuring out what types of things interest you in graphic design. Whereas your work experience does not necessarily dictate your strengths or your interests. Let's move on to question 5. There's no ideal number of pieces to add to your portfolio, but whatever it might be, people overwhelmingly err on the side of too little. So is that a true statement? Is there an ideal number of pieces to add to your portfolio? Whatever it might be, people overwhelmingly err on the side of too little. Do we truly believe that people overwhelmingly err on the side of too little? When you look at portfolios, is mainly your first impression of, wow, there's not much here to look at? And is it true that there is no ideal number of pieces to add to your portfolio? That may be true or that may be false. The basic question is, do you mainly experience too little, portfolios that have too little? I might believe that there may not be an ideal number of pieces, but I don't know that I believe that the main problem is too little in general. Creative directors often look for freelancers and employees who will take initiative without losing sight of the project goals. Freelancers, meaning contract people that they hire, not permanently. Employees, people they do hire permanently. Is it good to take initiative without losing sight of the project goals? What that means is taking initiative means trying something out that may not have been told or outlined exactly. Is that a good thing? And if so, then this would be a true statement. How about number 7? Your creative niche has particular portfolio expectations and require a mixture of projects to meet those expectations. So what that means is, depending on the area that you go into in graphic design, that will dictate particular expectations of your portfolio. For example, if you're going to become an animation designer, then they're going to expect to see animations. But if it's logo design, they'll expect to see logos. So you do need to be clear about that, and then meet the expectations. If your pieces are too diverse in medium, look, subject, or clientele, they can imply that you haven't yet figured out what you do best and that you have to yet to find your creative voice. Have you ever, obviously our education here puts you through a lot of different classes. So we're going to have to start narrowing down on what is a focus. And that's exactly the purpose of this class. So that we narrow it down, we can then isolate that and focus on that. So if you're too diverse means scattered. It's better to be focused. For some designer professions, an identifiable style is nothing short of a requirement. What that means is, if you choose an area of design, you will have to figure out a particular style in that area, that particular area of design that is your style. Now, you might ask the question, well, what about, how can I be flexible to other branding differences? And that's a very good question. In other words, if we focus on, let's say we have a client that's, Coca-Cola or Mountain Dew versus a client that's 1-800-Flowers, obviously how do you show your own style when you're having to copy the style of the customer? So I think that's important, but nonetheless, I think that what's important here is that you do need to have a consistency, some marks of consistency across your work. And finally, what are the various ingredients of a portfolio? Hold on. Excuse me 1 second. I think I'm going to try to pause this recording. Give me a second to have a little, see if I can pause this 1 second. Pause. How do you pause? Let's see. Well, here we go. Pause. Be right back. Give me 1 minute.